Alright, hello and welcome to Mega Man 3, the next step in our journey through the Mega Man series. Now there's no, in-game video or anything to explain the story of this game, so the story really comes from the game booklet that would have come when you purchased the cartridge. Basically, the story is that Dr. Wily, after twice attempting to and failing at taking over the world, has seen the error of his ways, and he has teamed up with Dr. Light to form some giant peacekeeping robot to keep the world safe named Gamma. But in order for Gamma to function, they need these 8 energy signatures or some specific types of energy that are either mined all over the planet or over various planets. And so they create 8 robot masters to mine this energy. But as we start the game here, the 8 robot masters have, for some unknown reason, gone completely haywire. So that's where we'll start. Now, there's probably 3 places that I think are most reasonable to start. Snake Man is one of them. Option that's very easy. Well, not very easy, but one of the better options to take out with your Mega Buster. But I prefer to leave him for later, as there are some weapons I like to have in his stage. Top Man is probably the easiest to take out with your Mega Buster, but because of the order that I like to go in, prefer to leave him for later and start with Magnet Man. Now, the beginning of Magnet Man's stage here is not too problematic. You can kind of get lulled into a false sense of security by, how not problematic these guys. That guy in particular, if you just keep going, you'll jump, he'll kind of lift you up and end up dropping you into that pit there, which is not something we want. Now, right here, early on, we have our first look at an enemy that we're going to be seeing a lot of throughout this game, which at this point I believe we refer to as Breakman. Now, if you're better than me, you will chase behind Breakman and kind of jump with him and shoot as he goes. Honestly, I prefer to just kind of take it easy, slide under him, and take him out that way. Either way is probably fine. For these guys, you just kind of fire away, and then when you need to, you jump up to take out their missiles. They're not too problematic. You just need to get 3 shots in on the little walking eyeballs to take care of them. And here we have these kind of, I don't know if they're supposed to be magnets or if they really look more like vacuums, but get introduced to them here in a safe area, and the fact that they will kind of pull you in. Now, I don't really need this health, but you want to hug over to the left as you drop down there to try and collect that if you need it. And of course, a Mega Man staple at this point, didn't even mean to do that actually, these magnetic blocks that I've now kind of lost myself on, but we'll wait till they restart. This honestly has never been one of my favorite things in the game. They're not really that bad, I don't enjoy it that much. I actually think as a kid I liked it a lot more and thought it was one of my favorite parts, and now I dislike it for whatever reason. Alright, let's actually pay attention here. So, the way I like to do this is come over here and then try not to get pulled off there, like an idiot. I'm just really timing this very poorly. So basically you just want to time that jump there, and then that one there. And here we just wait, let those 2 go, and then you can jump right there. And in this one you can just jump straight across. I like to kind of do all 4 steps, just makes me feel safer, but you can just do those 2 top ones and you'll actually be just fine. Now, we won't need any of these unless I really embarrass myself with this guy, which actually I do pretty often. That's fine. Alright. Now up here, and we are already at the end of the level. So we can go in and see Magnet Man. Now, he really has 3 attacks, one of which is just the way he moves, which is pretty easy to avoid. So, if you stay in this corner, you're pretty much safe. He'll pull you into him, but so long as you know, as soon as he settles in, start running away, he won't be able to hurt you. And then this is his only other attack, is that set of 3 magnets that he'll send out, which is pretty easy to avoid, so long as you don't leave yourself trapped in a way that you are unable to dodge them. And then you can just kind of slide under him as he jumps. He does one small jump and one larger jump. And you know, so long as you have that pattern in mind, it's really not too difficult to deal with. Even those 2 hits really that I took were, I wasn't really paying attention. But pretty simple to avoid ultimately. And you just kind of chip away. Hopefully you actually hit him, unlike what I'm doing. And you can see he's already almost gone. There we go. Figured we would just take that hit and speed things up a little bit. And here we will acquire our first weapon. Well, I guess second weapon. We do have the Mega Buster, but... Alright, we have the Magnet Missile. And we are going to take this and use it for Hardman. Now, beginning of Hardman stage has these annoying little bees, which you can deal with, or you can just do what I did there and just kind of back up and you won't have to deal with them. Now this one will just let fall so we can. They're not too bad, you just have these 5 bees. The biggest problem is if you allow them to really swarm you, they can be really difficult to deal with. But again, if you just back up a few steps, they'll just be gone and you don't have to worry about it. However, it's really not too much of a problem even if you do let them get you, because you have this right here, which that was embarrassing, is a nice little health refill. I haven't talked about it yet, but this was the first game to have the slide introduced. Now we could use the magnet missile to deal with this guy. I'm just gonna jump up and fight him head on, because I don't know, why not. Having said that, I'll probably mess up and do terribly, but that's alright. And of course we have our rush abilities, which we start the game with the rush coil to help us jump, but we'll get some others after. Now these monkeys I don't really like too much. One of the unfortunate things with starting with Mega Man rather than Top Man is we don't have Spark Man's weapon, which is kind of fun because you can shoot them. It doesn't kill them, but it does put them in this stunned shock state for a little bit, and then you can just kind of run away. But they just take so many hits that I just don't like dealing with fighting them. It's just annoying. Not really all that hard, but it's easy enough to just let them fall, and then... Oh, I don't think I moved fast enough. Well, maybe I will have to do it. Let's see. Give it one more shot. Alright. Now I think we're going to get our first look at another new enemy, which is these little bulldozer guys. They take 3 hits. It's not too hard. You just have to really have your timing down for when you fire the shot off. Otherwise, you'll kind of hit their bulldozer and not be able to do anything. Now, here, if I hadn't taken that hit, I wouldn't have to go down, but we'll come down here, collect this energy tank, and then you can go back around this way as well. And just refill your health a little bit. And again, we have this situation where we're going to have... Why do we keep doing that? Have the bees. And we can just let them pass. And now we have a reasonably difficult bout with Breakman here, where the way I like to deal with it is I spend kind of half my time down there to try and avoid some shots. But I always try and meet him up here so I can slide under on this kind of highest up point of the boulder. And generally, you know, you'll often take a hit or two. I'm doing fairly well right now, a lot of which is just kind of luck of when he's shooting, but you'll generally do very well there and be able to get past him pretty easily. And then here, you can take these guys out. They're not that hard, but they take enough hits, and usually I do well enough sliding under them that I don't bother. We'll get our magnet missile out. Hardman, especially with the magnet missile, is pretty easy. He's got a pretty kind of lazy attack pattern. He has these hard knuckles he fires out, and then he jumps and tries to smush you. Really, you can just take the damage from him and not even try, because he dies so easily to the missiles. Which is not usually how I like to do it, but I just kind of wanted to show off just how effective that is. It does burn through your weapon energy very quickly, obviously, but not enough to be an issue. And, as I mentioned, we get the hard knuckle now, which we can take and use to defeat Top Man. At least I hope so. If I'm going to say he's the easiest boss, I better be able to beat him. Alright, so Top Man, we open up with these kind of bolts that fly through the screen. You really could just kind of go and run through this. They don't really pose enough of an issue to bother waiting on. In fact, why don't I just do that? You also have these little jumping rabbit guys, which can be a little bit annoying, but not really all that problematic. Here you want to stay on the ladder and just take this guy out. Not that it's particularly difficult to deal with if you fall, but just that much easier to stay up. And here we can just go, because our weapon energy is full. Now, you don't really need to be too cautious here, but you do have that bolt that's going to fall right there, but you can pretty much slide right past it. Alright, now moving through here, you can go to the top if you want to avoid this fight. Doesn't matter too much, but after this, you're going to want to get the rush coil out and be ready to jump up. And again, you just time those shots right, and you do alright. But we can get an extra life up there, and then continue on our way. And I don't really need to be that diligent about dodging these, but I do. Now these cat guys here can be pretty annoying to deal with. Ideally, you could take out one of these yarn balls, because the cat won't fire anything else out so long as at least one of the yarn balls is out. I find that if I try and do that, I end up just taking more damage and getting in my own way, so I just try and take a couple of hits and take care of the cat. Now these guys are pretty simple, just, you know, as long as you don't miss your timing. As soon as you get up there, you can take them out easily enough. This one is actually easier to deal with, despite coming later in the level, because there's no back wall. And so those will just kind of bounce off. And now we have these mice that he fires out, at least I think they're mice. You can take out up to 2 of them, and the other ones won't replenish. Or you can just, you know, kill it, and it's fine. And we get a little extra health refill here. Hopefully I don't mess this up. There we go. Now here, I almost always take a hit here. I never quite time this the way I want to. Which is fine. Doesn't take off all that much health at all. And this part, not particularly difficult to deal with. Just got to be cautious and recognize that you're kind of rotating around there, so time your jumps well. And make sure you don't wait too long. And that will do it. Now, we don't really need to use Hardman's weapon for this, but I will. I'll show it off from back here just to kind of show how it works. So Top Man will fire off these 3 tops and then just kind of spin at you. You have to jump over him. That's about all he does. The easy way to deal with him is to get really close and fire off these hard knuckles, because then it hits him immediately. However, if you're further away, just because they travel so slowly, you can see how long it takes to get to them. Oh, sorry, jumped too early. You can also see you can direct the hard knuckle a little bit, move it up and down. I don't do too much of that, because honestly I find it distracts me too much, and then I just take other damage I don't want. But in this case, he's so easy that barely have to pay attention. That is not the case for the next boss that we're going to face. But we did get Top Spin here, which is a weird attack that we'll probably only use twice. Well, maybe 3 times. But speaking of top spin, let's go see Shadow Man. I would argue he's probably the hardest boss. Probably the most erratic attack pattern, hardest to judge. Obviously, everyone's got their own opinion and experience with things, but that tends to be mine. I have an odd degree of hatred for these little rabbit dudes. Just kind of tend to be annoying to fight. That is not true of now our third encounter with Brakeman. I don't know why I did that. I never do that. Just asking for trouble. I almost think of him as like a tutorial in forcing you to use the slide mechanic. Just dealing with him without sliding is incredibly annoying and difficult. Now, just have these kind of light blocking devices that'll float through here. You could just let them float by, you can kill them with various attacks, or, you know, if you keep going, they'll leave the screen eventually. Or whether they'll leave the screen faster if you just keep moving, and here there really isn't much of a reason to wait, so you might as well just keep going and just kind of keep attacking so you can kill those grenades before they get to you. But if you really want to see and don't have any other weapons, you could just wait and they'll eventually leave. Later on, they'll be a little bit more problematic, which we'll get to. That was never going to work. I find that once one of these guys get by me, I'm just lost. Alright, so there's a couple ways to deal with this section here, and I'm going to use the way that I find easiest. So, I'm going to take out Magnet Man's weapon, the Magnet Missile, and you don't really need to kill most of these guys, or you can kind of jump halfway and then come back, but doing this, you can take them all out as you go, and have a much easier time and not really have to worry quite so much, especially that rabbit right there. Really gets to you very easily. And then you could just kind of slide quickly and you'll go fast enough to avoid these guys, but I like to kill them because they also annoy me. Alright, now, top spin. So this is an attack that you literally use. Mega Man just spins. I'm not even sure you'll be able to see the attack animation because you have to physically make contact with the enemy in order to damage them. When it hits, it takes huge amounts of damage off very quickly, but it's just difficult to do well. And you tend to hurt yourself as much as anyone else. There we go. I would have used the energy tank if we got hit again, but luckily did not have to do that. So we will collect our fourth weapon here shortly. Here we go. And so we got the Shadow Blade and Rush Marine, which we will use next video because, as usual, we're going to end things here after the first 4 Robot Masters. And when we come back, we will face down the other 4. But till then, see ya.